Have you ever faced a tough and very hard moment in your life? Have you ever faced a depression? Perhaps you are facing it right now at this very moment. So I believe that the story I'm going to share with you today can help you or can help someone you know. As I said in my last video, in 2019 I moved to New Zealand and I was very happy. But since I'm not rich and I had to work and I had to learn a new language and survive in a country where I didn't speak the language properly, things were very challenging for me. Then in 2021 I was very depressed. During the whole year of 2021 and 2022 I was basically surviving. I didn't want to live anymore. At the time there were only two thoughts in my mind that helped me to keep going and not give up. The first one was faith, because I am a Christian. I have faith in God, so I still had hope and faith that things would be better in the future. And the other one was about my parents, because I knew that if I did something that would take their son away, they would suffer a lot. And basically all the suffering I was feeling would not end. It would only be transferred from me to them. And I didn't want that. I tried therapy. Unfortunately, didn't work for me. I still believe in therapy. I still believe that this is good and can be very helpful, but I didn't have lucky on this. The therapist I talked to didn't manage to help me properly. In 2022 I tried therapy again with a new therapist and didn't work again. So basically I was during 2 years facing a depression where I didn't want to live anymore. I was just surviving and it was really hard. Then in the Christmas of 2022 I was alone, my whole family living in Brazil, and I was very sad and crying, depressed. I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't know what to do. And then only in that moment, after 2 years facing a depression, I decided to talk to someone. And this is something I tell you, don't take so long. Don't make the same mistake I made. Talk to someone that you trust. I didn't want to talk to my parents, for example, because I didn't want to worry them, but I decided to talk to my older brother. He's a very wise and smart person. Trust him very much. So I decided to talk to him, tell him what was happening, my thoughts, my feelings, and it was in that moment that he told me an amazing and real story. And this is a story I'm going to share with you now. While I will tell you this story, I will put here some beautiful images of New Zealand so you can either see these or you can just listen. Here we go. On the 11th of February in 1917 was born in Chicago in the United States Mr. Sidney Sheldon. When he was a teenager, his life was very hard, very tough. His family was very poor and the United States were facing the economic crisis of 1929. So they were working a lot to survive. Sidney Sheldon was working in a pharmacy. He was just an assistant and he was doing everything over there. But he hated his life. He hated his job. He hated that everything was so hard for them. But he loved stories. He loved to read books and write his own stories. Then one day he decided to work for his dream. He started to write stories for TV shows, TV series, movies, theater, everything that he could imagine at the time. So he wrote these ideas, these scripts, these stories and sent to everywhere he could. Agencies, TV channels, everywhere. However, he didn't receive any response. Nobody responded to him. So he was very sad and he made a decision. He would end his life. He would unalive himself. Since he was working in a pharmacy, he had access to medicines and he already have heard some stories about people that took lots of medicines and drank whiskey to unalive themselves. And this was his idea. After some time saving some medicines from the pharmacy, he bought a bottle of whiskey and was ready to execute his plan. On the weekend, in the morning, when his parents left the house and he was alone, he decided to execute his plan. He got his bottle of whiskey and his medicines and went to the toilet to do it. When he was managing capsules, the medicine capsules, he heard something on the door and he was scared. And when this happened, all the capsules dropped to the floor and it made a noise as well. It was his father coming again because his father has forgot the umbrella. But when his father heard the noisy from the toilet, he went there to see what was happening. And then the father saw his son with a bottle of whiskey and lots of medicine capsules on the floor. He didn't understood what was happening and he asked, "What's happening? What are you doing?" So Sidney Sheldon, all confident and arrogant, said, "Look, I'm going to unalive myself. I don't want to live anymore. You can't do anything to stop me. This is my life. I made my decision. And if you do something now, doesn't matter. Next time that I'll be alone, I will do this." His father very calmly and wisely said, "Okay, the life is yours. You can do what you want, but you don't need to be in a rush. You don't need to do this right now. Let's have a walk and talk. And after our conversation, if you still want to do this, I won't try to stop you. I won't say anything. You can proceed." Then they went for a walk and his father asked, "Why have you made this decision? Why you don't want to live anymore?" And Sidney said, "Because my life is very hard. We are very poor. Everything is hard. I don't like to live this way. I work in a place that I don't like. I work there just because of the money and because we need that, but I don't like it. And the only thing that I like, the only thing that I love and I would like to work too is writing. And I tried. I wrote many stories, many scripts, many ideas. I sent to everywhere and no one even replied to me. So I don't want to keep living like this." And his father very calmly said, "Fair enough, I understand. But what about tomorrow?" Sidney didn't understand the question. He said, "What? Tomorrow? What do you mean tomorrow?" And his father said, "The next page." But Sidney still didn't understand. Then his father said, "What you most love is write. What you most love are stories and books. And what keeps us motivated to keep reading a book? Isn't the next page the curiosity to know what is going to happen in the next pages of that story? Your life is like a book. Every moment of your life is like chapter of a book. So what about the next page? What about tomorrow? Are you going to give up of the book of your life? You don't want to know what's going to happen next? Even more, you are the writer of the book of your life. So everything you do now will be reflected on the next chapters of the book of your life. You have so much curiosity about books, stories, and you don't want to know what's going to happen in your own story? You can write your story. You can turn each page of the book of your life. Sometimes we are reading a book and we see horrible pages, horrible chapters, but eventually something happens and changes everything. So think about the next page. Think that tomorrow can be different, and this depends only on you. This conversation made Sidney Sheldon reflect a lot and start looking at the life in a different way, with a different perspective. So he decided to endeavor even more. He studied more, he improved his stories, his scripts, his ideas, and once again he sent everything to the agents, TV shows, TV channels, theaters, everywhere. But this time the result was different. Every place that he sent his letters and his ideas replied to him, everyone, and they invited him to work with them. So he started to work on the TV and he wrote many TV shows, and many of them had success all around the world, like the Patty Duke Show, I Dream of Jeannie, and Heart to Heart. He wrote many books and all of them was a success in the whole world. He is the only writer that got all the biggest prizes in all categories that he wrote for. He won the Oscar for The Bachelor and the Bob Soxer in 1948. He won the Tony Award for Redhead in 1959. He won the Edgar Award for his romances. He won the Writers Guild of America Award in 1949 and 1951, and he got the Emmy for I Dream of Jeannie. And he only lived all these achievements because he didn't give up. He decided to keep writing the story of his own life. I took a long time to decide to open my heart and my thoughts with someone that I trusted, with someone that I could tell what was happening with me. So if you are facing something like this, talk to someone that you trust. This is very important. And once I heard this Sidney Sheldon story from my brother, I started to look at my life like a book. I can see clearly each chapter of my life. And I really believe and have faith and hope that the next chapters of my life will be even more amazing. So in 2023, I decided that I would keep fighting for better days. 2023 was still a very hard year for me, but things came better. I had a chance to travel to Brazil in October 2023 to see my parents, my brothers, my nephews, and it was an amazing time. And I can tell 2024 was the best year of my life. So it doesn't matter what you are facing now, if it is financial issues, health issues, mental issues, work issues, these will pass. And if you work hard, if you be honest, if you be honorable, and if you don't give up, things will become better. I appreciate very much your time and your attention, and I wish you all the best. Don't give up. Remember, the next pages and the next chapters of the book of your life can be absolutely amazing. I see you next time. Bye bye.